I was very disappointed to see when you did your marathons all those years ago, you ran past my house and didn't notice. I was delighted you were raising all that money, but I was furious that I missed
How
the
did you know it was
opportunity.
right by your house?
God, I saw the footage. I was like,
Oh, right. Is it?
running down that street, and I was like, "There's my house."
But were you in at that time?
I'm guessing I was in. I was a kid, so I didn't have many places to go.
How old were you? Actually, no. This is not to do with Jekyll and Hyde. I can't.
I'm not sure when it was. I can't remember. I think I was like early teenage years. But I live in. Well, my parents live in Penwith and Preston. So when you kind of came down Liverpool Road, this is very niche content for people watching this interview.
Well, what we can take from this is that running, that determination to do things is, I broke into Pinewood Studios when I was 15. I wanted to do films. So when Joe comes and says, "Do you want to go this role?" This is a great role to play.
Funnily enough, that's exactly was my segue.
Yes, exactly. I should have been trying to break into Bray Studios, shouldn't I? That would have been. They probably would have said, "Just come on in," whereas Pinewood was saying, "Stay out." But it's. Horror is not my starting place in films. And the extreme horror, I really can't quite get my hands around, even though I have been in Hannibal Lecter TV series, and that was pretty out there. But this is great, and Hammer came to join us in the middle of making it, and Joe wrote the story to me. He said, it's open casting, a considered man, considered woman, a trans Jekyll and Hyde. So Nina Jekyll was in there. I suggested Rachel.
Yes, it's
Rachel, which seems to fit quite nicely.
It does.
It?
It works
gives
very well.
Gives a lovely colour.
Yeah.
There is a Rachel I know who I've told her. And so these two characters are in one character, and instead of changing so that the audience go, now that's Hyde, that's Jekyll, that's Hyde, you can't tell, and you have to watch. And I think, I'm not sure if I could exactly tell how I was tracking it in each scene, because sometimes she just appears and starts talking in an odd way, and it's just there for a moment, and then it's away, and then hopefully we keep them guessing, the audience guessing.
Yes, definitely. That is definitely the game I want to play.
Why Susie? Why Eddie Izzard as this face, this brand to be involved in a story like this?
Well, I mean, it's interesting you bring up, obviously, Eddie's absurdity kind of comedy, the sort of surrealist kind of areas that it goes. So it feels like there was a natural place to kind of, a natural fit almost. There was a join there that I could see. But also as well, I was just looking for something to kind of go, if we're going to tell this story, we want to do it something unique and find a new way of doing it. And it's obviously very traditionally played by a very particular type of actor and a very particular type of role, and it was like, let's do something a little bit more. And we were looking for various different people. It was a question of like, how do I find the version of this film that I want to. The version of the story that I want to tell, and as soon as Eddie was suggested, it was like, this is brilliant. This makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing dramatic roles. Drama was my first love. Having gone through comedy, got better known for comedy, and then after 30, 40 films now, just playing dramatic roles. It's interesting, and there is a certain place where a dark comedy can sit underneath this role, or maybe any horror, particularly a Hammer horror. So I was not just playing the drama of the character, but it does occasionally get quite weirdly, darkly odd. And she says odd things. Rachel says odd things, and I wasn't in control of that. That was nothing to do with me. She just said, because when I let go, it just goes wherever it goes. And Joe had the right as director to cut leave, because it gets grandly operatic towards the end, and so that's where Rachel really takes control. And so we were just living it. Me and Scott, we were living it together on the stage, just being there and having this final denouement.
I should ask, as far as I'm aware, this is your first role as a woman, as in the playing...
As a trans woman.
As a trans woman?
No. Second to come out. Third, I might have done 3 or 4. There's one in Chaos. I'm playing a trans character as well. So I will play straight roles or trans roles. I won't play cis women roles.
I just wondered, like, did that affect your kind of your preparation or experience acting in any way, shape, or form in the way that the character moves or anything like that?
No, not at all. Because the interesting thing is, Nina Jekyll is trans. Rachel Hyde, this strange thing, is cohabiting in this trans body, but. It has nothing to do with the dark power that is Hyde. and where that's come from and how that's travelled through. That is, it doesn't matter who it is. So, which I think is beautiful, and this is the way that casting, 21st century casting is. It doesn't matter LGBTQ, your what colour of your skin, doesn't matter. What's going to happen to that person, and your sexuality or your ethnic background, it should be a background, and your foreground is what is happening to that human being, so that all human beings of the world can interact and see themselves in that character. And what would it be if that happened to me, if I had this darkness going through me?